The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Ladies and gentlemen, the Church of Lazlo has begun.
Yo. How are you, my man?
I've never been better in my entire life. How about
Good.
you?
I'm great. Hotter than a son of a bitch out there, but that's okay.
It is hot out there, but the air conditioning seems to be working in here today, which it was not yesterday.
Hey, I wanted to mention something real quick because Snowcone likes to do these things. He's a very, I don't know what it is, tech savvy. When you say tech savvy?
Yeah.
He's a nerd.
I like numbers.
Yeah, he likes numbers. So, like, if you listen to the podcast, every once in a while we'll ask you to click something, and then he tabulates all these things and brings them to my office. Hey, boss. Tabulated these numbers for you.
It's that data. The Russians taught me.
And then I look at it and I'm like, I'm not sure what any of this means. And then he says, boss, this is what it means. This is what we need to do. And he's usually right.
Should have gone to work for Cambridge Analytica or whatever it's called.
I know.
So, what have you done now?
I got a new thing.
You got a new thing?
Yeah.
It should be pretty easy. Look, it's not a spam thing or whatever, but this is really, it's just for us three. Just don't worry about Intercom or the FCC or ratings or whatever else. If you have a second, just text question, right? To 96500 and then just answer honestly. That's it. And it's one question, and we'll never bother you again. Well, we will, but if you get a chance before 3 o'clock, just text question to 96500 if you don't mind.
Yeah. And then answer honestly.
Yeah, answer honestly.
Be truthful.
However that works.
Yep.
You know what's awesome? You and I were talking about sports before we went on the air, and I was looking up stuff on YouTube, and I searched for something, and on the first page I saw old Nick Wright there, and I didn't search out his name. I just had searched out a player's name, and then there's Nick Wright talking about. So then I searched it a different way, and then scrolled down about halfway down the page, boom, different video of Nick Wright. And Chris Carter. You see him all the time now. I mean, obviously, I follow him on all the social media and stuff like that, so I see the videos that he posts or that his wife posts, but it's like that realization. You don't have to search for him anymore.
No. He's a star.
He's a star now.
He's a star.
Pretty crazy. So, you guys we've talked about all of our streaming services and stuff before, but there's more of them coming.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
There's a lot more of them coming.
Apple, Disney.
Apple announced
NBC.
theirs, which they say Apple will be successful because everyone already has the hardware.
Right.
So, we'll give it to you for free for a year, and then you're already.
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah, they've got the ability to make it, to force you to have it, basically. And then Disney's been the one that people talk about a lot because they've been, they got all these Star Wars things and original content, and how much it's going to cost, and they finally released all that stuff. And a lot of Disney stuff is going to leave the other site. So then you go, well, even if I'm not a huge Frozen fan, what else? Maybe I'm a Marvel fan and it's leaving Netflix. I just said if. So now you've got HBO Max, right? They talked about that already. Like, is that available already? I still use HBO Go.
Wait, there's another one? There's Go and Now, right?
And now there's Max. That's what they announced months ago.
Difference?
Yeah, so Max is basically when they said it kind of sounded like they were admitting, we know our apps kind of suck. And so we got a better app coming, and it'll have more exclusive stuff. It'll have more of the old HBO stuff, some of the stuff that maybe you can't find on Go or Now. And this will be the new way of streaming HBO Max. I didn't understand when it was coming out. But anyway, I read today that they paid billions of dollars for exclusive streaming rights to all 12 seasons of... Remember, Hulu paid $1 billion for Seinfeld 5 years ago, or it was, and everyone freaked out.
Got Seinfeld, right?
That's what you were telling me. I hadn't seen that,
Netflix
but
just got Seinfeld as well.
So HBO just paid, the quote is billions of dollars for the exclusive streaming rights to all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, people love that, man.
I had no idea. I knew it was really popular.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was like a let's watch it over and over again show.
Yeah, I think people love it.
Earlier this year, HBO Max paid $425 million over 5 years, which is $85 million a year, for Friends to get it from Netflix. You remember that big controversy?
Sure.
Everyone wanted to keep Friends, and so then you got those. You already have HBO, I'm guessing. So if they switch to Max, wherever you say fine, it's probably costs the same. You have like the movie channel, Showtime, Stars, that stuff. And then you have Hulu and Netflix, and Amazon Prime, right? Which the Prime is kind of reminds me of the Apple thing. It's like you have it because you're getting free shipping, right? But it comes with the video service. So.
Well, but I also like it.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
I use it for my interface for everything.
But even if you didn't have Prime Video, or even if you didn't watch Prime Video, which a lot of people don't, there's a good chance that they still have it, which a lot of them do.
Yeah, sure.
Say a lot of people have it.
But don't you use it for your interface?
Well, I use an Amazon Fire Stick.
And so you go to Prime Video, then click on Hulu through them, right?
Right, but there's an actual Prime Video app within there. So I just wouldn't have access to that stuff. I don't know if you can use a Fire Stick without Prime or not. I guess you could. You just couldn't get into the Prime Video.
I don't know.
But the point is it reminds me of Apple because saying, hey, $100 a year or whatever, we'll ship everything to you in 2 days for free. Cool. Oh, also, here's the streaming service. And Apple's saying, hey, buy this device, and also here's the streaming service, and don't mind us, in 12 months we'll start charging you $5 a month. But where I start to lose my mind is when the networks say we're launching our own thing.
Right.
Because who's paying? Like, we're already saturated. It's already too much stuff. Now we're back to being more expensive than cable.
Right.
We've hit that point. Right. So then, like, CBS launched their thing and took a bunch of their stuff and said, nope, you got to sign up for CBS.
And NBC's taking The Office.
And now NBC is doing it, and they're going to launch in April. And they're doing 2 big revivals. One that they announced is, I guess, The Office. Is that official yet?
A revival?
They're reportedly talking about possibly rebooting The Office.
They've talked about that for
nothing
a long time.
Definitive yet, but there's rumors that they will reboot it. Now
It's been a long rumor, but it's been amped up a lot lately with the new streaming thing. So I think they're going to,
So, but are they getting the
But they're also taking
show?
The Office off Netflix,
Man, what is Netflix going to do when all these networks and everything take everything? It's going to be down to just Netflix originals on there. Yep. So then the other thing that HBO was doing that I thought was really weird, NBC was doing, did you hear what else they're reviving? It's a Gen X show.
I heard Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're reviving Saved by the Bell. Like, I don't know if they're hoping that we're going to watch it or like you're going to watch it, or
I have no idea
if kids are going to watch it. So they don't know if Tiffany Amber Thiessen or Dustin Diamond, that's Screech, right?
Yeah.
Or Mr. Belding. They don't know if these people have signed anything yet, but they think that they will. And they say, as far as they know...
Well, they've already done this Fuller House and Boy Meets World.
True.
It's all the same
And the
crap.
Fuller House thing did kind of work, but with Fuller House, I guess they could do the exact same thing with Saved by the Bell. So they're the parents of... We'll meet new kids who are in high school, and it'll be targeted at kids. You're right, I'm dumb. I was thinking, why do I want to see Zach now, getting his prostate checked or whatever he's doing, going to the gym?
I would actually like to see that.
Like, they could do that.
I'd like to check his prostate.
They could turn it kind of dark and be like, now we're adults and life is rough and I'm divorced.
He's supposed to be the governor of California in the new one, right?
Oh, he is? I didn't read that.
Zach is now the governor of California.
I didn't read that. But this is stuff that I'm curious about, but not enough to pay. What's it going to cost? $10, $15?
Yeah.
It's too much, Lazlo. It's too much. So I've got an idea. I think we should probably get cable again. Let's just get cable with all the channels.
I'll kill you.
And DVRs, and that way we'll just have everything.
What's the opposite of cord cutting?
Cord inserting.
Plugging in?
Installing?
Yeah, plugging in.
I'm going to plug in.
I'm plugging in. Plugging in, boys.
in.
Bring that guy out here and plug me in. I mean, I got a little flyer on my door that said I could get like pretty fast internet and all the cable channels for one TV for $59 a month.
You're an asshole.
I was thinking, if I make the switch, I could help you along in the process.
I knew that you would. That's why I haven't turned in my boxes yet. By the way, did you drive by that goddamn Google place?
The last time I was there was to turn in equipment.
Is it close to you? Is it close to either one of you?
It's in Westport. It's close to here, actually. It's not that far from here.
Don't they have a new building downtown?
I think they built
Quality Hill.
Maybe, but
I just want to bring my boxes and you guys drop them off. I don't want to drive all that way.
Yeah, I drive by.
Close to you?
I drive by there.
I'm not saying drive there. I don't drive there.
She comes to him. He's a man.
Well, give it to her.
I get nervous
about going in that place. It's like the
about leaving my house, man.
Oh, I got
have
you.
anxiety.
Yeah,
I don't like to do. I like to drive too far.
The nice thing about it's like the quietest cable store. It's nothing like going in the other cable stores where you're standing around and you take a number. You just walk in and some guy's like, "Hi, sign this, tablet."
Text line
here."
says, "Sunfest, just go back to cable and smoking cigarettes for Christ's sake."
That's what's going to happen to a lot of us, right? They're going to force us back on cigarettes, and then they're going to force us back to cable. They can't expect us to pay for every single network individually.
No.
I guess maybe they think, look, someone is a really big fan of
Office.
name an NBC show.
Yeah,
they're The Office,
Yeah, I
right?
love The Office.
And they say they're going to pay just for that. Okay.
Well, you know what'll happen,
Who
and that'll
loses
suck.
in
I
this?
will go back to cable if they say, it doesn't matter, I could care less. People are talking about this all the time, and who cares? But the thing that'll screw me is if they say, oh, you got to pay for NBC now to get live sports.
Oh, my God. That would be super
Disney
frustrating.
has
Then I would just go
ESPN,
back to the
right?
antenna and the DVR over the air HD antenna.
I guess. I mean, but if they did that, then you'd be like, oh, God. But it could conceivably save at least somebody like me quite a bit of money if I said, okay, well, if you all want to do it individually a la carte, then here's the 7 channels I watch that have sports on them. I'll pay for
That would be
those.
great. Remember, that was McCain's big thing.
Right.
He kept trying to sign some sort of thing that would force cable companies to allow you to purchase
Right.
channels a la carte.
So I'll just do that, and then a couple movie channels, I'm good.
Well,
Because whatever, I pay for whatever, but I still just basically watch
you watch a lot of live TV.
sports on TV.
Yeah. Because I thought you use Hulu, as do I. As long as NBC and CBS and those networks don't say, hey, even though they've subscribed to cable through Hulu, we're still going to take their on-demand stuff away so that they come over to our app. Like if they say Dateline's not available on there anymore because you got to go to the NBC app to get that. Now, we're not going to allow it to be on demand. They can watch it live, because they signed up for live TV. But after that,
Right.
they're going to then that would change everything. If they allow that stuff to stay because it's like a deal that they would have with the cable company, then we'll be okay, right? We just miss out on any of the exclusive stuff for the apps, like
I don't know, man.
Saved by the Bell.
Maybe you just buy. At some point, you could probably go to Amazon. Mm-hmm. Really, if Amazon was smart and the guy's still a billionaire and gave his ex-wife $500 million. Mm-hmm. If he just said, "Look, I'll just pay for all these sporting games, whatever sports game it is." You can buy it for $1.99 on Amazon.
Right, if they would allow you to purchase right there in the app, that would be
Exactly,
great. Like
yeah.
right now, there's free stuff. Like it says Thursday Night Football. Okay, well, why don't you just have all the games available?
Boom.
The NFL, they don't
The
want to do
NFL
that.
would have to realize that so much because Amazon could say, give us the content, we'll cut you back 50%.
Right, but the NFL's run by old.
Could you imagine if the
outdated
only way you
dudes.
could get the Chiefs game is if you paid $1.99 for it?
Right.
Or
I'd watch
99 cents? Everybody would.
Everyone would pay for it.
99 cents, boom.
Even though you could
Through
still see
Amazon.
it free over the air,
Yeah.
you'd watch it on the
Right, or you
Fire
can
Stick
buy
'cause you
99
could
cents on
rewind
Fire,
it.
right.
Yeah. Once it's a reasonable, that's part of why pirating went down so drastically because
Right.
things became affordable,
Yeah.
easy to access
I feel like
and
pirating's on the
affordable.
rise again because there's just so much.
Because there's so many, it is, and they talked about
afford
that
all
with
of it.
Game of Thrones and stuff because there's so many streaming services.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else?
Anyway, I don't want to talk about the UFO thing. Do you guys want to talk about that UFO thing?
And Tom DeLonge?
I used to like UFOs.
Yeah, wasn't he responsible for that video?
Yeah,
being-
and they said, yeah, it is a UFO. Tom DeLonge did it.
So back in December of, not last year, the year before, 2017, there were those 3 videos that were posted online, and they showed footage that was taken by Navy pilots that, supposedly showed UFOs. The Navy just addressed them and said they're real. And that they can't identify the flying objects. And they said that those videos never should have been released to the public.
Yeah. Because it happened in 2003, right? That's when the videos were recorded.
This article I read earlier said that, when they were recorded. Yeah, they may have been in 03. I just know that they were released in December of 17.
But they were recorded a long time ago. Or, relatively.
So, you guys have watched the videos, right? There you see stuff flying around. So, Navy's finally addressed it, says they're real, and their quote is, unexplained aerial phenomena. At the end of that, they say the video should never have been released to the public. Now, they're not confirming that they're spacecraft, obviously.
Right.
They're not saying, yes, it's alien.
They're saying we don't know what it is?
They're just saying we don't know what it is.
That's a lot.
And it's an unexplained aerial phenomena. I mean, that's pretty good. Unexplained aerial phenomena. I'm sure that the UFO people will hold on to that because that is pretty good stuff. But they say they use that to describe any aerial thing that they can't identify. That they don't know where it came from, what it is.
But usually they say, oh, this is what it is. Come on, guys. We know what this is. It's a stealth bomber we were testing. It was some sort of balloon. Like, they usually have something.
They have something.
This is the one why this struck me a little weird. Not that I always believe there's something. Mm-hmm. I don't. Sometimes I'm like, no, really? But it's a weather balloon that went off course. Sorry. I'm like, well, that's weird. But this one, they're like, we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Popular Mechanics where I was reading the story about it this morning. And
people are saying just in time to storm Area 51.
Yeah,
that's true. That was supposed to happen what?
The 20th.
Oh, the 20th.
20th?
So 2 days. That Popular Mechanics article, I think it was in there. Somebody was saying something along the lines of, look, if they knew that they weren't UFOs, don't you think the Navy would have said they're not UFOs? Instead of making this big deal about the video going public. I don't know what they mean. Like, I think people often think UFO automatically means alien spacecraft.
No, of course
but
not.
UFO just means it's unidentified flying object, which they are saying, aren't they? By saying it's an unexplained aerial phenomena, that's a UFO.
Yes.
They're just using a different term.
Yeah. Yes.
But I don't think if you talk to them, they'd say, no, it's not a UFO.
And that's what who's the guy that has a Netflix special was on Rogan?
Bob Lazar, right?
Yeah.
He talked about how they changed the term to the AEP, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're right. I didn't even think about it. I listened to that. I didn't even think about it. Unexplained aerial phenomena. Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Yeah, he said they changed it to that over the
UTI.
Oof. Been
HIV.
there.
STD.
Yeah.
Been there. At a Royals game.
You got a UTI?
Rough. I have a short urethra.
Drink cranberry juice.
They say that's, you don't have to do that anymore. It doesn't do anything.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm serious. They say it doesn't do anything.
Who said that?
There's been a bunch of articles actually.
It's
You can stop
read
buying
them?
cranberry
Natural
supplements.
diuretic?
I see it pop up on stuff and it says you can stop
Because
buying
you
cranberry
got to
supplements.
use so many UTIs?
One time I had an STD. What is that STD that I had?
AIDS?
No, it's the most common STD.
Man, we were close on that. You're a little faster. It was good. It was good. Herpes.
I always
Herpes.
thought
You
that-
still have herpes.
No, I
you said
always-
had.
I always thought it was HPV, but when I got this,
Chlamydia,
they said this was more
gonorrhea.
common. No, I'd never heard of this. It's what the hell? Oh, trichomoniasis.
What is that?
That's what I'd never heard of it. But they're like, oh, you've got this, and for guys, you don't really have symptoms unless you've had it for a long time, and then your wiener can start to hurt a little bit, maybe. But for girls, it could cause reproductive problems. So make sure that everyone takes
So you got
their
the trick?
antibiotics. So Planned Parenthood gave me the antibiotics, and then you're good to go. Why
So
did I
you had
start
the
telling
trick.
that story though?
I don't know, just to tell us how many STDs
Oh,
you've acquired over the years.
Acronyms.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like a UTI. Anyway, I had that UTI at the Royals game, and it was
You had
not
a
a
yeast
fun
infection?
Not a fun experience. No, a UTI.
Have you had a yeast infection?
We can only get them in our mouths, right? Thrush,
Who, me and you?
guys, cis men.
I don't know. I thought you were just talking about me and you.
Isn't that what it's called? Thrush.
Because of the way we do things, we can only get them in our mouths?
That's the only place we don't have vaginas, and I don't think you can get it
For yourself.
anywhere other than in your
I was gonna
mouth,
say.
which they
you
call
sure?
thrush. I don't. If you guys want to take a look.
I'm just saying, don't assume who or what I am.
Okay.
You've often said you've never seen my wiener,
I've never seen it.
which
I
also
don't know
means
that
you've
it
never
exists.
seen my vagina.
Right, I don't know for certain that it exists. It's like, it's kind of like the UFO thing, right? I mean, I don't have any proof to disprove the people who say they've seen them or some of the pictures that I've seen, but I don't believe it.
Of my wiener?
Of UFOs, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if your wiener,
I thought you said you don't have any proof that of
I don't
the
have
people
any-
who say they've seen it.
I don't have any proof that your wiener exists, but I assume it does. I think it does. I feel like I would have found out by now if, I feel like someone would have said something like, oh my gosh,
He has a vagina?
yeah, or something, a sword or something down there.
A sword?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe you stuck something on there, a prosthetic, whatever you have, vagina, it could be anything other than a wiener. I feel like I would hear about it, He's got a happy face tattoo, that's
I have
it.
both.
So,
What do you think about that?
then is that a hermaphrodite? Will we get in trouble for that?
That's the term, right?
When you have both
I think. I'll look.
genitalias?
I don't know if it's PC anymore. Hold on.
Yeah, so guys, the thing about the UFO thing, and I'm kind of tired of...
Oh, Nurse Vicky here says you can get yeast in your penis.
You can?
And I bet you got it.
Well, it's probably easier for me because I have the short urethra. That's what they say. Short urethra means small penis.
You have to...
It has to travel. That's why guys don't normally get it, because the infection would have to travel all the way up, and it doesn't normally make it that far.
Somebody just Google penile yeast infection. It exists. I bet you've had it.
I've never had that.
Oh, I don't believe you.
I tell you. I just sat here and told you about getting an STD and going to Planned Parenthood to take pills for it. I would tell you.
I don't believe you. I feel like any sort of disease or medical issue that's predominant in women, but men can also get on an outside chance, you've gotten.
I actually have too much
estrogen.
No, I actually had too much testosterone. It's this weird, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's why I have bad skin and stuff. It's why I lost my hair, the doctor says.
That's what I was saying. You assume Lazlo has a penis. You assume that because you're assuming Lazlo's gender. Slim Fast, canceled.
No, Lazlo's told me about his penis.
Canceled.
That's not assuming. He's told me about it.
Canceled.
He's talked about
You
it.
shouldn't take
That's
his word for it.
ridiculous.
It's still assuming.
That's not assuming.
You're assuming he's being honest.
I'm assuming he's being honest. That's what we're supposed to do.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so if someone claims they've been raped, I shouldn't assume they've been raped?
I've never
them?
told you about my penis.
You have. You've talked about it. Talk about how it rests on your, and how it's different than mine, and you've described it. I think that you drew a picture. One day you drew a picture. You talked about all the parts. Many times. But enough about the wieners. Jesus. Tom DeLonge's UFO videos were real.
Yeah.
I'm intersex.
Cool.
That's
not a hermaphrodite.
That's the PC term for her.
I'm intersex.
That's a medical term, right?
People born with sex characteristics including genitals, gonads, and chromosome patterns that do not fit typical binary notions of male or female bodies.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Intersex is an umbrella term used to describe a wide range of natural body variations.
Yeah, that's me.
Intersex people born with several variations.
Someone said just ask your mom if I got a penis.
Man, it gets you every time. Like a 2-year-old could text in and crack Lazlo
up.
Man. As long as he just
I love that they're thinking about it. I love that. I love that someone's in their car like, all right, man, I just got to wait for a spot to bring up a Slim Fast mom. I love it. It's my favorite thing ever. That people are just sitting around waiting for a Slim Fast Mom joke, just waiting for the conversation to turn in a way where they can fit it in, squeeze it in.
How did it get there? We're talking about 3 videos that show UFOs flying over America and officially being treated by the Navy as unexplained aerial phenomena. Isn't that what it was? UAP?
Yeah.
And they were first published by former Blink-182 guitarist Tom DeLonge to the Stars Academy. They appear to show a mysterious craft speeding through the skies as captured by Navy FA-18s. Come on, guys. When Tom DeLonge went on Joe Rogan, the internet just roasted him for like a month.
Who's laughing now?
They just roasted him. People were talking about like, oh, he needs to go to the hospital.
Right.
I mean, it was they were ruthless. And by the way, did you hear Dan Aykroyd? He's like same level. I mean, every
I've heard
UFO,
he's like that,
I've heard some of it, but man, he for an hour just talking about every UFO incident, and he believes all of it.
Oh man, clearly they're not wrong.
But those people want to believe. I want to believe. It would be cool. I think it'd be cool if Gray's landed like, oh well, that'd be bad. It'd be bad. It would be bad. Well, I don't want to be the first one to encounter them and try and be Secretary of State. But if someone says like, oh, we got them and they're friendly, they're nice. They're kind.
You'd be safe. They'd be like, oh my God, how'd you get here first?
Yeah. I know.
How long have you been here? You're that ship that crashed all those years ago? We found them. Jimmy, we found them.
You're making. I have a hormonal irregularity
That turns you gray?
It's borderline disability. It makes me ugly. And I feel like you guys pick on me for
Slim,
it.
you're not ugly.
Lost my hair when I was 20. I've had zits since I was 10.
You're a cute little
You're
guy.
not ugly.
I
Oh, come on now.
I get all anxious and then I start crying and then I
You're
start
not
laughing.
ugly. You're much better looking than me. You're a handsome man. I'm an unattractive man, but you do look like a gray.
Oh, both of you stop.
All right. Let me
You
ask
do look
you
like
this.
a gray.
Let me ask you this.
Look,
This
you're
will be
more
the test.
handsome. You're more handsome than me, but you look more like an alien than I do.
Okay, if a gray, like the kind in Fire in the Sky, the kind we're all thinking of, the almond eyes, yeah? If you had one of those here right now, and you dressed it up like Bugs Bunny when he dressed up like a girl, the wig, actually more modern, one of those
Are you gonna
modern,
ask me if I'd have sex with a
hold on.
gray with
the
E.T.?
The Natalie Portman wig, like she wore in that movie where she was a stripper.
What was the one that was in
and
Space Jam? Is that Lola
like a
Rabbit?
nice bra and nylons and high heels and everything, and like a crop top. Could you be attracted to her?
No.
Well, then that's rude what you're saying then. Because you're saying I look like, when you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying you look like one. And then when I ask you, well, what do you really think of those? You say, no way, no how.
Let me say real quick. What was going to turn me off about them is I think the length of their feet are very, very long.
Oh, well, what if they have little ones? Little
Well,
dainty
now,
feet?
for some, but you
Let's
see what I'm
say
saying?
if
I
they
know
have
they
little
have
feet.
like the big
I know you
ones,
got
like
But see, this is
E.T.
how
with the clack,
hypotheticals
clack,
work with
clack,
Slim. He
clack.
just always, what if it's this? What
Well,
if it's
Lazlo's
this?
hung up on the
Until
feet
you
thing.
say yes, and then he can
No,
say,
Lazlo's
you
hung up
do
on
it.
the feet thing. It's always, they got to leave their shoes on. Her feet are too big. Okay, she leaves her shoes on and she's a size
But they're
6.5.
sure huge
No, she's
shoes.
a 6.5. 6.5. Maybe a 7 in women's. It's a small foot. It's perfect size.
What's she wearing?
She's wearing pink patent leather pumps.
Nylons to cover those gray legs?
Black Cecilia de Raphael Eterno 15 nylons.
He's an expert.
Whoa.
Crotchless.
Crotchless.
Serial killer level.
She's wearing a plaid schoolgirl shirt. Or skirt. A white crop top. And she
Wait,
has,
no. I don't want a crop top.
Okay.
I don't want to see all the gray belly.
I like different things than you like. Like, I like it when girls wear, 90s silk shirts and stuff. So I don't know what kind of shirt you like, but whatever kind of... What do you think is a sexy shirt?
Okay, fine.
Something that's slim fitting and comes all the way down to her wrist, okay? Maybe it's kind of shiny.
Yeah,
You
sure.
probably like
what are her
shiny
hands
stuff.
like? Super long
They're
hands?
kind of gray, and her fingers are skinny. She looks like a piano
What
player.
are they? Super long?
Her fingers are thin and long and longer than normal.
She have
but-
nail polish on?
Yes.
Okay.
Bugs Bunny. I think he did,
Right.
didn't he?
Lipstick?
Lipstick, full makeup from the Good Place on the Plaza,
Sure.
and Sephora, full Sephora makeup.
Yeah, of
and
course.
And then the Natalie Portman wig.
Yeah.
The shiny
Okay, so
silver.
what's
whatever.
left? So it looks like a woman, and what's left?
Yeah.
Once you take the clothes off,
I don't know. Why do I have
Is
to
that
take
what
her
it-
clothes
is that
off?
what it is?
she's a gray.
Or do you
it's
still
an
see
alien.
like the gray face and the almond eyes?
Oh, what's left? Like, what do you see?
What do you
you'd
see?
see the almond eyes unless you make her wear sunglasses.
Yeah, okay, I'm with that.
Do you need her to wear sunglasses?
Would be preferable.
I'd kind of want to look into those eyes. I'm not kidding. I think I might. I like to look you in the eye.
I think I might like the big Jackie O sunglasses on it.
That's fine.
Lipstick,
She's willing.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Sure. Of course I'd have sex with her.
Okay.
See, you thought I was just saying immediate for you. That part of it was, the big, long, E.T. looking feet.
Just to do it. You know what I mean?
But I don't have to take her clothes off either, right?
No. You never do.
No, right. Of course. I don't want to do that.
Have you ever taken someone's clothes completely off for intercourse?
They have to do it themselves.
I say keep them on.
Yeah. Special say that, can I?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you can say
No. So
There's
sorry,
not two
I
next
dumped
to
that.
each other. There's one.
She's got this gray has one reproductive organ and no excrement organ down there. It's
They
just
don't
one,
poop?
There's one
I don't know. Maybe
orifice.
maybe they they digest everything perfectly and they don't need to. Okay, let's just. There's one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right about here. Okay,
And they're back?
so you kind of have to probably. I would say it'd be best if you stood behind her, or that's probably what she'd prefer.
But I can figure it out.
Yes, and it would be very nice.
Would it be different?
It would be different.
How?
I'll tell you off the air how it would be
No,
different.
how would
but
it
you
be
can
different?
imagine. It would be I don't know if I can say this, guys.
Maybe that's the greatest thing in the
I'm
world.
going to put my finger on the button, and then you tell me if I need to dump it. I'm not actually. Why am I looking at you? I'll look at Snow Cone. It's as if this is there.
Okay.
Like it works almost like this. It feels like this.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
See what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah, I do that. I do that with you.
No.
If you
Soon
dressed
as
up
you-
exactly like that.
No. As soon as you get a whiff of my musk deodorant, you're going to throw up and go,
Right, but you're
so
going to
fast."
go to Sephora and put on the makeup. You're going to shave your head. You're going to put on nylons.
Yeah.
You're going to put on a skirt. You're going to put on high heels. You're going to put on a wig. You're going to put on makeup. You're going to, put fake fingernails on and paint them. Everything's going to be perfect. And then I'm just going to lift up your skirt and stand behind you. I'll do that to you this afternoon if you can get all that done.
I think my best cross.
You're going to have to put on the
days are behind me.
Jackie O glasses, though.
I think you've known me too long, and you're imagining what I would look like, 10 years ago in that get up. I just don't know that I pull it off now like I did then. In my mind, I like to think that I do, but I'm afraid that I don't. Once I shave, my beard and everything, I think I just look like a middle-aged man in drag. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't think you'd be into it.
I think you'd be surprised what I'm into.
I tried to get you to go to that drag show that was nightly when we lived in Seattle. It was down the street from you. Like, why are we going there? What do you do? I was like, you sit there. You're like, do they come out in the audience? I'm like, I'm sure they do. They're drag queens. No. I just wanted to go check it out. But my ex-wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. She was like, why do you want to go? And I was like, it's here. Support local. I'm a progressive guy. I'm an ally. But you can't say that. They're just like, no, you're into it. And it's like, all right, well, fine. I guess we'll go see a movie. But you really can't, You can't.
No, you're right.
It's like how guys can't be alone with kids ever unless it's their father or maybe an uncle who's got some sort of parenting rights. You just can't. No one's going to drop their kid with a man at the mall and say, I got to run. I got an emergency. Please watch my kid. You can't do it. You can't walk if your kid's in preschool, you can't walk into the preschool room and start talking to the other kids. Hey, buddy, what you got there? All the teachers are going to be like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Take his picture,
Unless
write
they
it
know
down.
you.
Yeah.
Once they get to know
sucks,
you,
though.
it's a judgment
It
call for
sucks.
that. I think it's much more, like you're saying, the preschool or whatever, they would know you. It's much more like at the airport and stuff.
It sucks, though, because...
With around strangers in a public place, people are always looking at you if you got like a little kid with you.
Yeah, that's true. And they've got those posters telling people to look for you. It's like, dude, single dad, what the hell? Yeah, I don't understand that. And it does suck.
Anyway, back to you. You'd be surprised.
Okay. The bottom line here was that Tom DeLonge released those videos. I mean, that's kind of a big story, right? I feel like for us, because we know Tom, and obviously we discussed his interest in UFOs and aliens and some of the things he said. We've discussed that in the past, given our thoughts. And I feel like this headline today is big news. I mean, New York Post, here's the headline. Navy. Tom DeLonge's UFO videos are unexplained aerial phenomena. And they should not have been released. I mean, didn't he say that like someone in the government was working with him and said, we need you to get this message out to the people. You're the one who can get this out to the people without freaking them out. Isn't that kind of what he was saying in those interviews?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he's doing it. So maybe he's like, I'll write songs about it, and I'll occasionally release a video, and then the Navy will say, can't deny it. And then next thing you know...
All right, before we run out of time here.
Trip
for two.
We'll do it right now.
Right.
This is the Church of Lazlo.
Flashing with paparazzi involved in incident.
These infected monkeys. This is Headlines on the Church of Lazlo.
Oh, the intersex wiener. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
You ready for some news? I hope you wait to get your news here.
I don't ever look at anything because I need a newsman.
There's no need. I want to know.
I need someone to decipher what's going on in the world for me.
Sitting here every day.
A curator. You're a curator.
Yeah.
Of the happenings.
I'm a filter. And have you found
we should have actually called this whole segment Slim Fast Current Events.
Yeah. We could have done that.
That probably would have been a lot better. And now, current events.
I think these are...
You know what? Change that.
These are headlines.
Make it current events.
I like headlines, though, because it is the headlines that I picked.
Yeah, that's your current events.
Yeah. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're at a bar or something and someone brings up a current event and you say, oh, I don't know about this? The answer is no, because you heard about it here, right?
That's right.
And you're like, no, I'm pretty sure Gavin Newsom said he was going to fight this thing. Speaking of Gavin Newsom, obviously that's the top story.
What's he going to do?
He's the governor, very handsome governor of California, and he is very angry.
Why didn't he run for
very
president?
Orange president. Well, I think he thinks he needs to be governor first. Okay. I heard this whole thing about how, presidents used to be governors a lot. Like, we used to elect a lot of governors, and a lot of governors ran for president.
Sure.
It was like, in elementary school, we did the thing in school where you vote, all right, who's going to be the mayor of each table? Then they voted for a governor of the class. And then at the end, they voted for a president of the whole grade. Guess who won?
President of the whole grade? Mm-hmm. You?
Nope. Lost by one vote. Lost by one vote. I got second place. I lost by one vote. So I was a governor.
Who beat you?
Steven. But he was prom king. I wasn't angry at all. Steven's such a good guy. Everyone loves that guy.
So it was like a Bernie Elizabeth type of situation.
Yeah, like he was just too nice.
Which one were you, Bernie or Elizabeth?
Boy, I feel like who would I have been? I would have been more like a John Edwards. Like at first, they're like, oh, he's charismatic, and then they start
someone who cheated on his.
Yeah, then they start looking into his background, and they're like, I don't think I like this guy that much,
Ooh, that's not good.
But at first, they're like, yeah, I like what this guy has to say.
Sure.
And then
John
later,
Edwards.
like, I'm trying to be honest.
Yeah, he's saying, look, you thought I was a good guy,
Didn't he
said a
push
lot
that
of the
girl on
right
the
things,
playground?
and then I cheated on my wife.
Yeah, once you start running for president of the fifth grade, they start looking
and
into
you
your
love Dave
history.
Matthews, so I think it all makes sense. I'm with you.
So, I think that's
Satellite.
that's fair. Yeah. So anyway, Trump, he hates the environment.
What did that have to
Really
do with
hates
Gavin
it.
Newsom?
Because we're going to talk
Okay,
about
we're
Trump
gonna
and
get
Gavin
there.
Newsom. Trump really hates,
environment?
environmental regulations.
Trump hates
and
trees?
He hates clean air. Yeah, he loves global warming, all those things. I think we can say all that. Based on his actions and his statements, I think all that's pretty obvious.
Confidence?
So he has now revoked California's right to set their own emission standards. California always has stricter emission standards than anyone else. So a lot of times there will be cars that are modified for California, and then they'll say, okay, this car can't be sold in California unless they restrict the exhaust or whatever. But then a lot of times they just say, we want to make sure that all of our cars
meet the
California standards. So we don't have to
we sell so many cars in California.
Yes, just
easier to
35
do it
million
that
people
way,
there, whatever.
yes.
Right. So it helps the whole country have more efficient cars. And of course, there's pushback from automakers sometimes saying, oh, it's going to be too expensive. You want this many miles in 5 years, we can't do it. But every time they've done it, their car companies have done it. It doesn't seem like the prices of cars is, gone crazy or anything. You can buy brand new American cars like sedans for $18,000, right? It doesn't seem like we're like, oh my God, what's happening? But Trump acts like they've gotten too expensive and people are losing their jobs because of emission standards. So California, you no longer have a right to make your own emission standards. So what Trump also hates is state rights. The Republicans hate state rights, right?
Yes.
Isn't that a thing?
Let's not forget, we were here just a few years back.
This is
George
Gavin.
W. Bush asserted the same kind of authority, at least tried to assert that they had the ability to eliminate our waiver, a waiver that goes back to my birth year, 1967, when we had major smog in Southern California, and you had a
Why does he say 1967? Don't say that.
leader, an environmental leader by modern terms, in the name of Ronald Reagan, who pushed the federal government, eventually leading to the Clean Air Act, signed by, again, a Republican environmental leader by modern Republican standards, by the name of Richard Nixon.
Okay, so I know Richard Nixon did some of that environmental stuff. I just Wikipedia'd the Clean Air Act, and because you heard what he said there, I was like, Reagan pushed it, and then Nixon signed it. So then I thought, oh, well, maybe
Reagan was the governor.
Maybe Reagan was the governor, and then he pushed it, and then Nixon signed it. But I looked up the Clean Air Act on Wikipedia, and all you have to do is just scroll down. I don't know if this is right or not, but I scrolled down here, and you can see it says, introduced by, then it gives this Democrat from Alabama in 1963, and then it says passed by the House in 1963, passed by the Senate in 1963, and it says signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on December 15th, 1963. So I'm confused about that. I know, though, I've heard people talk. Didn't Nixon do like the clean water thing, or he did some environmental thing? He signed some environmental thing. Did he start the Environmental Protection Agency? Maybe did he start the EPA?
Maybe.
I think that's what it is.
Who did the national parks thing? That was Roosevelt.
That was Roosevelt. I think Nixon started the EPA. Can you imagine? Trump was like, what we need is regulations to keep this environment clean. We got to crack down on these oil industries. I just
Nixon.
Googled who started the EPA, and it says Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know. Did you see this? Well, no, you haven't because you wait to get your news.
Yes.
Did you see these hoodies that this artist is selling that people are going nuts about on social media?
No.
This person has made hoodies that have the names of schools where school shootings have occurred, and then the hoodies have, like, fake bullet holes in them, and there's, like, models walking around saying, look at these, and people are saying, that's not provocative, it's just offensive and stupid.
There are two artists that run a clothing company in Douglasville, Georgia, and they created a line of sweatshirts that depict mass school shootings and what would be bullet holes in the sweatshirts. This went viral on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. People all talking about these images and whether or not it's appropriate, evocative. What's your take?
What's your take? She's asking you, Lazlo. What's your take? Did you Google a picture of the hoodies there?
No, I'm trying
you don't
to, but I
even
can't
need to.
find them.
If just imagine a hoodie that says Columbine and it's got holes in it. That's it. Or Sandy Hook and it's got holes in it.
Well, I don't know. What's the artist trying to do?
I don't know. I don't know what his intention is.
They're trying to draw attention to school shootings?
Right. I mean, he has a right to
he's
make
the artist.
them. Right. If he's trying to say, hey, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, then you don't like what's happening in America right now.
Yeah.
This happened. But I don't know what his intention is. Is it just to be provocative and get attention? Don't know. Never met the guy. Don't know their names. Didn't look into it that far.
Did you see the shirts?
I did see the shirts, yes. I think they were all hoodies. I think they're like out of stock. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't try and order one. Let me see if I can find some pictures here for you. I always lose my... There's one there. I can't see what it says from here. There's another one. That one says Columbine. So see, he's got... hoodie on, it's got the bullet.
Why are we upset by that? Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I've read it as like, hey...
They were saying parents of victims were like, this is, not
You're
sensitive.
making money off of it?
Right,
They
this is
did
not
that
sensitive.
with Kent State. I remember seeing a Kent State shirt with like a Bible and blood splatter.
And I feel like you're saying...
I would hope that he's saying,
Yeah.
hey, we need to be reminded
Pay
about
attention.
this. Yeah.
This is happening.
Kids are getting shot. And if that's his intention,
I take
don't
it as
have a
trying to
problem
be
with it.
shocking and funny.
if he's trying to be
See, I take it, if it's trying to
funny-
be shocking and funny, then it's not working.
Yeah.
If he's trying to say, hey, keep this top of mind,
Yeah.
everybody's wearing school T-shirts and school hoodies, well, how about a school where kids died, and you think about that for a second.
I thought of it like a shirt you see on that T-shirt Hell website or whatever. It's just they say shocking
No, because these
stuff
guys
to
are
be
like
funny.
doing a little, they're like modeling it. It looks like it's like a fashion show. They're walking down a runway. I think they definitely think of themselves as artists. That local news anchor called them artists. So look, we'll never know what their intention is.
Unless they come out and say it.
Even if they say it, we don't know if they're telling the truth. But if
Right.
they say, my intention is to remind people that this happens, and you can't.
Somebody
just
did
forget
say
about
they
it,
did say it. They said it's to bring attention to the mass shooting problem in America.
So I don't have a problem
No,
with
me neither.
that. I don't want to wear one, but I don't have a problem with that.
I don't know
it's
that I
real.
wouldn't wear one. I'm being honest. I don't know that I wouldn't. I don't know that I would, but I don't know that I wouldn't. I do think it's a political statement.
But I think it's such a... And I totally defend your right to do it, obviously. I think about the parents of the victims. And I think about, the family members of the victims.
But wouldn't they want that to still be top of mind?
See me in that. I don't know how they would feel. But I wouldn't want to do anything that
would offend them, of
shock
course.
them in a way that made them sad. And
If it was my kid,
yeah. You say you'd wear it?
yeah.
I think I would too.
Like,
but
I
don't even
want
have
you to
kids,
know.
so-
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I want you to remember what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I would too. We're
And I guess,
different,
you're
though.
talking about, so you have the intent of the artist and the intent of the wearer.
Yeah.
And those are things that, you're just going to have to leave open, but...
Well, speaking of all this, did you watch the new back to school PSA from this this group that I kind of don't want to give it away,
Okay.
but I'll show it to you. Let's just watch it. Make sure there's nothing else coming out of here. Let's just watch it together.
You know what? Real quick, though,
yeah.
text line. Wow, that was an easy thing. I didn't think to say it, so good for you. They said, it's in poor taste, school shootings.
Absolutely.
So...
Absolutely. So I feel like we'll play this, and I would like for you to kind of describe. Every time I move this monitor, it goes off. I would like for you to kind of describe what's happening.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we've had a lot of technical difficulties. There we go. Because I saw this morning. I'm sitting there drinking coffee. I hit play. I thought it was like for school supplies. Like back to school supplies. These
looks
kids
like a little kid.
like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Middle school age. And maybe an Old Navy commercial or something. I didn't know.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
The PSA starts with innocent scenes of kids showing off their back-to-school gear, but then unravels into a nightmare.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that she was talking on this one, so I want to play you the version where it's just the actual commercial.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
Okay, at that point, this kid is running down a hallway,
Yes.
and he says, these new sneakers are just what I need for the new year. There's kids screaming behind him, and then you hear those gunshots.
And there's a kid breaking out windows with a skateboard trying to escape.
This next girl says this new jacket was perfect. Well, she's using the jacket to tie up the handles on the doors in the gym to try and lock people out.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
So now he's using the skateboard to break the window out to get out of the class. And this is where it gets really tough.
These scissors really come in handy in art class.
A little girl standing with scissors, hiding behind a closed door, and saying, these scissors really come in handy in art class. And she's looking outside, and you hear gunshots.
Right.
And she's, I guess, planning on trying to stab this person if he comes in.
Colored pencils, too. These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
These new socks can be a real lifesaver. A girl is sitting next to another girl who's bleeding profusely out of her leg. She takes her long gym socks off and turns it into a tourniquet to try and stop the bleeding from this girl.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Now, this is the end of it, and it's really hard to watch. This girl's sitting it looks like she's in the bathroom. She's on her cell phone, and you can see the glow of her phone in her face, and she says, I finally got a phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Ugh.
I just got upset. And then she just says, I love you.
Right.
And then you hear this guy walk in. So it obviously is not what you're expecting when you turn it on. They make it to look like a regular, commercial. I thought it was honestly for back to school supplies or something. And then when that kid starts running down the hallway and you hear the gunshots, you go, oh my gosh, someone's doing something serious here. This is about school shootings. But they still stick with that tone. The kids are still like, this skateboard is great. My parents got it for me. Breaks the window out. This phone is awesome. But so then at the very end, after this girl, so you see her in the bathroom, and then it says it's back to school time, and you know what that means.
Ugh.
School shootings are preventable when you know the signs. And then it shows the name of the group, Sandy Hook Promise. Learn more at their website. And this is the thing they launched today. It's hard to watch, right?
Hard to watch.
They did a good job.
Really good.
And you can't, anyone who's mad at them or says it's insensitive, now that one I think is much clearer to me than the sweatshirts. Sure. I say you do need to be reminded. Because, for most people, their kids go to school and there's never been a shooting there or whatever. I think it's obviously impossible to imagine what that would be like, but you try anyway. But I think seeing videos like that remind you that the kids are actually going through this. And then it actually happens many times a year in this country, and that schools actually have drills and practices in place for how to deal with an active shooter. That people are actually talking about training teachers to give them handguns so that they can shoot other kids with guns. As soon as you stop talking about it, it's easy to kind of forget. But it's still happening.
Yes.
All right, then Ed Buck. You remember Ed Buck? He's the guy.
Have you gone to their website, too?
I did. I looked at it this morning real quick.
I suggest everybody go to it. It's sandyhookpromise.org.
So Ed Buck is, he's a Democratic donor. He got in trouble, a couple years ago when someone overdosed in his house or whatever.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah. And like the second person who had done it.
It was something like that. Like 3 people in his house. Right. Was there something about, I don't want to imply, I thought there was also like maybe years old there. Does that sound right? That wasn't
the same thing? Overdoses, I think.
Okay, just well anyway, he's a Democratic donor, And so obviously, if you look him up, you're going to get all the conservative websites are going to tell you the story. It's a little bit harder to find it on the front page on the liberal-leaning sites. But he was arrested again and charged with running a drug den in his house.
These charges relate only to a September 11th incident in which Ed Buck, according to prosecutors, injected a 37-year-old man with meth and was operating a drug den, those prosecutors say. Buck was arrested at his home last night. In this case, his alleged victim, a 37-year-old man, survived. But Buck has previously been investigated, although never charged, over 2 separate incidents in which 2 men died in his West Hollywood apartment.
Okay, so, the guy's got a drug problem and he likes to give drugs to other people. So, what's the big deal? Because he gave money to Democrats? It's a headline? I mean, this isn't like Epstein. That was way worse.
Yes.
Yeah, hiring girls to come over. Sounds to me like this guy just likes to do a lot of drugs and do them with people, and sometimes like, dude, come on, take this here, I'll inject it. I don't know. It's
dangerous.
It's very dangerous, but it sounds like this guy has a drug problem, and I don't feel like it's as salacious as the Epstein thing, which it feels like a lot of these conservative-leaning sites are trying to make it. Look at this piece of scum, another liberal donor who was arrested again. I'm like, guy's got a drug problem. I'm not trying to defend him because he's liberal. I'm trying to defend him because I have a drug problem. Mosquitoes are killing people. It started it's happening in Michigan. They're killing people. What's this thing called? Triple E? Like extra evil encephalitis or something?
Extra evil encephalitis?
I'm making that. I think it's triple E. It's some sort of encephalitis.
64-year-old Greg McChesney is one of the latest victims of triple E after he suffered a sudden seizure. He was helping his little brother put in a dock.
He was perfectly healthy, happy human being. And within a matter of 9 days, he went from perfectly healthy to brain dead.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is happening from mosquitoes. I thought...
Mosquitoes, really?
In the United States, this is happening. I thought Bill Gates was going to take care of this. And if he is in another country, trying to help out, I appreciate that. But we need him here. We need him in Michigan right now.
One person?
How many people have died?
Yeah.
No, there's been a few. Public health officials are urging people to guard against mosquito bites after more cases of this triple E thing. 2 additional deaths in southwestern Michigan, in addition to what? Saying that there were deaths in Cass and Van Buren counties. That follows earlier deaths in Kalamazoo County. There have also been human cases in Berry and Berrien counties and animal cases in St. Joseph and Genesee and Lapeer counties. Any of those sound familiar?
Yeah.
The department is encouraging officials in affected Michigan counties to consider postponing, rescheduling, or counseling any outdoor activities, anything occurring after dark, particularly activities that involve children. Like they're saying, don't
go outside?
Don't take your kids outside, especially if it's at night. Yeah, that's what they're saying. This could kill you.
I wouldn't take my kids. You don't take them out ever.
Like if you're walking the dog or you're...
Right, but I'm just saying...
Oh, you're saying if you knew this thing existed.
I guess.
Right, yeah.
I mean, how do you live with that?
Exactly.
Because you're like, I can't teach you to be scared of everything.
No.
But I also know that, mosquito bug spray doesn't work 100%. It's not 100% effective.
No, but you should use it.
Because I've put it on and then been...
bitten.
Yeah.
It happens. But you should use it.
Of course.
They say you should still spray it on your kids, especially with stuff like this. I mean, I know that the news loves it because it's a headline like, people are dying, oh my God, isn't that crazy? And then maybe we don't ever hear about it again. But the idea that there's multiple deaths in Michigan and that officials are telling people, stay inside. Usually officials say, calm down, the media is overblowing this a little bit. Just wear some repellent, your chances are 1 in a billion. They're saying, don't go outside. In all of those counties, it's like, don't go outside, especially after dark. Definitely don't let your kids out there. That's neglect. Like, what? Going outside? It gets dark at 7 o'clock now. I can't go outside? That's crazy.
Well, yeah. It's going to get cold.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
That's good. And they're in Michigan, so it'll get real cold.
Yeah.
But I don't really get bit by mosquitoes. Some people
I don't a lot. Some people do a lot.
Yeah. My ex, she'd go outside, she's just covered in bites. You could see them on her. Like, she'd have to go inside. I either don't get bit or I don't notice the bite after it happens. Like, my body doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is either, but I don't get it as much as some
hopefully they don't
people
like
do.
me. In Georgia, these...
I'd imagine they don't like you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? Like, dude, that dude stinks. Oh,
like
my
drugs.
God. Yeah, what is wrong with him?
Just oozes out of his
Stay
pores.
away from him or you'll be dizzy flying in circles. So there was this shooting in Georgia. I don't know if you heard about it. 3 teenagers they now say were attempting a robbery. They go up to this house. They at some point pull a weapon. Someone from the home, they're not releasing names of any of the victims or any of that, but someone from the home pulls a gun and shoots these kids, okay? And when the cops get there, they realize that these kids had like ski masks with them. They said, okay, this looks like an attempted robbery. Pretty obviously. We need to make sure. But as long as it is, then this guy who shot these kids is not in trouble because he'll clearly be protected under the stand your ground law. I think the guy who shot him, the only thing that we know about her, that I've read about him, is that he lives with his mother in that house. So it sounds like it's her house. The son lives there with her, or at least he was there at the time, and he's the one who shot these kids.
He kept his hand on his wound, and he said, I'm dying.
Brian Jenkins lives 2 houses away from where the shooting occurred.
That voice I will always remember. This young man perhaps died on my lawn.
So he fatally shot 3 kids. They say 2 of them were brothers, and the ages were 15 and 16. So I don't know if 2 of them were 15 or 2 of them were 16, but 15 and 16, 2 of them were brothers, and he shot them and killed them. But the cops are saying, look, if they had these ski masks and they showed up with guns and he came out of his house and they were pointing a gun at him, he's allowed to shoot him.
Yeah.
So, but originally, I guess it was like teenagers shot. You know, there were neighbors coming out like, what's going on? They could hear it. They're kids, you know, 15 years old, and they got shot. Yeah. You assume someone's going to prison. And then they say, well, we found these ski masks, and it looks like they were trying to rob the place. Trump was in California. Raising money. And, you know, there's a lot of people in California, so I'm sure he has a lot of supporters.
Sure.
But it's known as a pretty liberal place.
Well, Southern California, Northern California, get up there, Sacramento area.
A lot of rich conservatives up there. Well, he goes through, his motorcade goes through, and there's protesters, and of course the protesters are fighting, and of course the Antifa people, which I still in my mind think like Antifa's not a real thing.
Right, that doesn't really exist.
Something that the media makes up. And anytime they show it to me, it's always 3 guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, so wait, do these 3 guys travel? Are you sure they're Antifa? But they were burning the flag. And I was like, dude, just stop. Like, I want you to be allowed to burn the flag.
Sure, of course.
But I don't want you to burn the flag. Does that make sense? Why are you burning the flag? You don't need to burn the flag. You hate Trump.
Yeah.
Do you hate America?
You could be protesting against what it's doing right now.
I guess, sure.
And as a sign of that, you want the ability to do it at any time.
Right. I defend your
right.
I defend your right to do it. I just don't want to do it, and I don't like seeing people do it, and especially don't like seeing people do it who are on my side. I think it makes us look like we hate America.
I'll burn one right now. Right in front of your face.
I don't doubt it.
America was never great.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The protest organized by a political group called Refuse Fascism. Members of the group and other anti-Trump protesters were seen trying to burn the American flag. And as they were trying to do this, Trump supporters tried to stop them from doing that.
Okay, so they were fighting. Man, I saw there were people out there on Twitter and stuff taking videos and saying, look at this, I'm here at the protest, and people are fighting. All of the crowds I saw looked pretty small. I don't feel like there was a whole hell of a lot going on there. The GM strike.
Yes.
You've heard the updates about this? We know that the GM union is on strike, including in Kansas City.
Yes.
And they're on strike across the country. Their contract ended, and they're trying to renegotiate. So, here's the first update. GM caves on health care as these striking workers are now going without it. The UAW versus GM battle, this is according to Jalopnik, has been raging this week as the UAW's negotiations for better pay, benefits, paths to seniority, and more have come due at the expiration of a labor contract. So GM has been trying to get the union to say, we want the employees to pay more for their health care.
Right.
Now, I read what they pay. In this article I read, it said it was something like 3% of their earnings or something goes to health care, the employees. And the average person is something like 28%.
Yes.
Which is probably like what you and I pay.
Right.
And I guess GM, and don't quote me on this, but GM wanted something like 15%, which would still be way below what most of us pay. But it's a huge jump for these union workers who have fought for this for years to have this health care coverage.
And General Motors has stopped paying for health insurance for the roughly 46,000 workers involved in a strike against the company. Health care costs have been transferred to the United Auto Workers Union. The union launched the strike on Monday, the very first in over a decade, as both sides continue negotiations for a new agreement that would cover about 48,000 hourly workers.
Okay, so at the same time, they said last night GM stopped paying its workers health care.
Yes.
And instead, that health care cost goes over to the union.
And the union covers their COBRA.
Yes. And then hours later, GM, this is a quote here, made major health care concessions during contract negotiations, which is good news. From Bloomberg here, it says, health care has long been considered the third rail of automotive contract talks, with workers zealously clinging to their plans. They see them as hard-won benefits that help make up for the wage concessions and jobs given up over a decade ago when GM and Chrysler went bankrupt. Okay, so that quote there that says that they made some concessions, It sounds like good news.
Right, yes.
Sounds like good news. So we're still with you guys.
Yep.
And we hope it gets worked out. But that sounds like...
So the concessions mean what? Like they're saying we're just keep the health care?
It says that it talked about how they tried to play hardball. And then that stuff that I told you about trying to... raise what they pay. Reuters says GM has said in the past that it annually spends $1 billion a year on healthcare coverage. So that monthly cost per worker is like $1,700 to $2,000. The UAW said its strike fund covers certain benefits from their medical plan and prescription drugs, but not dental, vision, and hearing, which I guess is other stuff that they get. So it says the fact that GM suggests that the current healthcare benefits will remain in place. This is
good.
Bloomberg theorizing.
Good.
They think, it sounds like, they're going to get their health care.
Good.
So way to go, guys.
Good.
Remember all the bikini baristas in Seattle?
Remember them.
Oh, man. And how we wanted to start a little bikini barista shop because we thought there's not one here.
Right, we should have started
They're all
one.
over in Washington. And then they kept getting in the news because other states tried to do it. And they're like, you know what? We'll find a way to shut you down. So we'll get the health department to say you're not wearing enough clothes, or you need to have a hairnet on, or you have to wear a shirt when you're serving food. They tried to pass laws in certain counties to change the rules for someone working at a restaurant or a coffee shop so that they wouldn't, be able to serve coffee in bikinis.
Right.
I guess Seattle must have been successful in their fights because they say they've still got the bikini baristas around. But I can't believe it took this long for someone to think of this.
We got something different?
Yeah. Shirtless baristas.
With men?
No shirt at all, no top, nipples showing. Yeah, it's men. Dream Boys. I think that's the name of it.
I saw a hug guy in there. He was in his little thing and he was, posing. just adorable. They're adorable.
These two baristas are turning heads and getting people to pull out their cameras in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood.
It was a topless guy sitting in there with swollen pecs and whatnot.
They're in these kind of like brief bikinis, and they're all very good-looking young men.
Man, you know where it is? It is. I was watching
Capitol Hill, where you lived, right?
Yeah, it's right across the street from where that drag show thing was.
Oh, really?
Like a block from my apartment.
Okay.
That little area there.
You probably could have worked there.
Yeah.
Pick up some extra cash, take a shirt off, serve some lattes.
What would I be? Like, I know the gay community, some in the gay community, I don't want to say everyone, some have like terms for different body types and ages. And
you'd be a bottom.
Well, I get that part, but what else? Aren't there other things? Like, I'm not a bear because we're not big enough. What's
bottom?
What's smooth? What's the smooth?
I think you'd just be a bottom.
I don't want to offend anyone, but I know there's names. I don't know it, but for women, no matter what your body type is, there is a whole bunch of dudes that are way into that, and they've built websites dedicated to your body type, whatever it is. If you have an amputated leg, there's a million websites that want to see pictures of it. Men, it doesn't necessarily work that way. There's not like you know what I love? I love skinny bald guys with beards. That's my thing. Like they don't do that. They don't categorize us the same way. Don't you think? There's no way to know. Like, you don't know who you're looking for when you're out there dating, like who might be interested in you. If you were a woman and you knew, all right, well, I've got a big ass. I know that there's guys who love big asses. I'm going to use that to try and, whatever it is. But we don't have that. So maybe what I'm getting to is maybe I could work at Dream Boys, but I'd have to have something, because the other guys are real good looking, real beefed up, and I am not. So maybe I could put a lot of baby oil on my body, shave my chest, fake tan. If I did a lot of that, like bodybuilder fake tan, and then the bronzer stuff that makes you shiny, so I almost look like one of those statues or whatever. I got so much bronzer on, then I think I could do it.
Let's see.
Wonder what
you ready? I'm looking up stuff right now. Bears.
Yeah, so that's the big.
The bear community is a subculture.
And I'm not big enough or strong enough to be
white,
a bear.
hairy, heavier men.
So that's
Cubs are young, hairy men.
Oh, yes, I remember that now.
Otters.
Okay, yes, I'm starting to remember this. What's an otter?
Otters are often considered to be... let's see. Otters are typically much thinner than a bear, but still value traditional masculine ideals.
Maybe I could be an otter. I have a pickup truck, right?
Wolves.
I have some Red Wing boots.
Let's see.
I have screwdrivers in the car.
Wolf is a lean, muscular, and hairy.
Yeah, not me.
Twinks.
I'm too old for that, right? Isn't that when you're younger, like in your early 20s? Says a lot of guys may be otters without realizing it. Says it seems that a lot of guys could be seen as otters whether they identify as one or not. A cisgender male with a traditionally masculine aesthetic, someone who has an average level of body hair, a bit of scruff, fluff, fur, whatever, some type of hair.
Twinks are lean, young, and usually clean-shaven or hairless.
Right. And so I'm not young. Otters look similar to what you might call the guy next door type. I think I'm an otter. Just an ugly one. I'm an ugly otter. I think that's me, man. This website talks about how an otter behaves.
Jocks, gym bunnies, gym rats, and bulls.
Gym rats, that's an obvious one. What was bunk? Is that what you said?
Twunks. Twunks are twinks, but more muscular, I think.
Okay.
A twunk tends to be older, too.
Well,
and they represent fewer gay male stereotypes. Jocks, gym bunnies, gym rats, and bulls.
Well, I'm reading this guy's website who started an otter community. And he describes what an otter is. He says some people see it as a slimmer variation of the bear community, but in practice it seems to be as much about style and aesthetic as the body itself. An otter is like the guy next door, but with an edge. Otters are guy next door that have grown up a bit. Oh, that could be me. I got a bit of edge. The music's too loud when I pull up in the driveway.
The geek or gamer.
I think you got to be smart and stuff, like into electronics more than me.
Science fiction and fantasy.
No, I don't read enough for that.
Queens, drag queens. I don't know where you fit in, buddy.
Man, I'm reading this otter website, and look at this guy. Look at that guy. He's supposed to be an otter. We're like the same build, same facial hair. He just has a little bit of hair on his head, right? I mean, don't we almost kind of look alike?
You do a little bit.
So they say I'm an otter.
An otter.
I class myself as an otter since I'm a little bit hairy.
Otters are often considered to be another subcategory of the overall bear community.
I'm skinnier than a cub or a bear.
Many phone apps, such as Grindr, a phone application for gay men to hook up, and gay dating websites include otter as a tribe or option to belong to or to describe oneself. Otters are typically much thinner than a bear, but still value the traditional masculine ideals. Others are not divided by age like the bears and the cubs. Otters are hairy and often have facial hair, but it is not required. Otters are welcomed by the bear community, both for their physically masculine traits and their non-stereotypical gay behavior.
And then it says when you get older, you have to change to something. So you said something about a white hair or whatever.
You're an otter.
But I think I'm an otter. Yeah. I think you're a bear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah. That guy who held up the sign.
Can otters, is it like, astrology? Are otters and bears good?
Yes, this guy says otters are like they're the first descendants of bears.
I know, but are we allowed to mate?
Yeah,
like it's good for a Taurus and a Pisces to hang out together?
They make it sound like
otters and bears are good?
Sounds like they date bears, and bears date them. At least one of these guys was talking about dating bears and bears that are into otters. So that makes sense to me.
Polar bears are older men with graying hair.
Yeah. And so someday we could be that. Okay, so that guy held up the sign at the Iowa State game that said, my Busch beer supply is low or whatever. We talked about this yesterday.
They have black bears and panda bears, too.
I saw that. So that guy, we talked to him yesterday. He held up this Venmo.
That's what snow cone would be.
I think snow cone is a bear. I don't think he's an otter. I think he's really hairy, too.
Yeah.
I think you're a bear.
He's a bear.
Yeah, you're big enough. You're over 200 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You're a bear. You're full bear. Okay. Anyway.
Slim fast. He's just an otter.
Yeah.
He's just a little otter.
I'm an otter. He's full bear in there. I just don't have the DNA. So that guy at Iowa State held up the sign on live TV that said, I need Busch beer. My Busch beer supply is low. Venmo me. And he started getting all this money. We talked about him yesterday. Yesterday, he was up to like $6,000 or something. And he was interviewed by the press, and he said, you know what? I can't keep all this money, so I'm just going to take enough money to buy a case of beer, and I'm going to give the rest of it to children's hospitals. And you're like, oh, my gosh, this guy, he's such a good person, because you think if I'd gotten that money, I probably would have kept it. Well, now other people are giving money to the kids as well. And it makes sense.
He plans to donate that money to the University of Iowa Stead Families Children's Hospital. Both Venmo and Anheuser-Busch say they will match King's donation dollar for dollar and throw in some Busch Light for King.
So Venmo and Busch, it sounds like, are going to match separately whatever he comes up with. The last I checked, he was into the $20,000. Have you guys seen where he's at now? Because the last I saw it was over $20,000 this morning. So I have no idea what it's at now. But what a great promotion for Busch, right? And Busch Light.
Yeah, sure, of course.
And if you notice there at the end, he says, or they say, we'll give him Busch Light. I feel like this guy's going to get Busch Light for life. They're just going to keep sending it to him, right? How much Busch Light are they going to give this guy? This is a huge advertisement for them.
Yeah, but it's going to go away soon.
It will. But, I mean, it still had to make them a ton of money. This is great. So I feel like they should give him beer for life. I'm not saying they have to give him a case a day, but a 30-pack a week or something, don't you think? I feel like he's earned that at least. And maybe they will. They said they're going to give him beer. I'd be curious to know how much beer they give him. There are bats in Kansas City, and they are biting people. They're biting people on the neck, and they're ruining people's sleep, and you have to go to the hospital and get a rabies shot. This woman got out of prison, and there's this organization that helps women who get out of prison get reassimilated into society, get them a place to live and all that stuff. So this has now made national news because this place where she's living is really not so good. It's got a lot of problems that she's complained to the landlord about. But one of the problems, and what's making national news now, is she's got bats in the house.
What?
And they're biting her, and they're biting her in the neck, and she's had to go to the hospital.
We're starting a new life, and we're trying to get our stuff together and go on and be productive citizens.
But she says her 5 months here have been frustrating. She's had water leaks and holes in the utility closet, and now bats.
Now that I lay down at night, I can't sleep because I'm wondering what's in bed with me, and it's terrifying,
Yeah.
Happens to me every night.
What, bats?
I don't know. I just lay down drunk and wonder what's in bed with me.
Yeah, well, okay, there's that, but you don't wake up. Well, I guess you could wake up with bites on your neck, but you don't have to get a rabies shot. Well, I guess you do maybe have to get a rabies shot. You know what? You're right.
It's
basically the same thing. And then finally,
you tell me that doesn't happen to you?
It's happened. It's happened.
You've never laid down in bed and thought, what the hell's in here with me? Mm-hmm.
How did I get here?
Yeah.
I can't sleep.
Who's upstairs? It's my husband. What do you mean? Oh, we're open. But why is he here? He's cool. It's fine. No, it's not fine. So finally, an update. Do you remember, what was it, like a year ago, when that woman got pulled over for a DUI, and there was dash cam and maybe even body cam, but there was definitely dash cam, and she's talking to the cops. She's like, please don't arrest me. I got 4.0 in school. I've never been to jail. Please, I'm a clean white girl. Do you remember this?
My partner that I work with is a cop. We do good. I promise we do good. I was a 4.0 student. I was in my American high school students. I was an all-American cheerleader. Please, I've never been arrested. I've never been in jail. Please, I don't want to know what it's like. I don't want to know what it's like. I'm a pretty girl. Please, don't let me go in there.
So that's all.
Oh, man, by the way, I've been arrested and sounded just like that.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I can't make fun of her.
4.0.
Right, please.
I'm a pretty girl.
Yeah, please. So they say that, I guess this must have been once she was in the station, because I've never heard her actually say it in that audio, and I've watched all of it. But they claim that at one point she said, and this is what made headlines at the time, she's a clean, thoroughbred white girl. Mm-hmm. What you do hear her say, I'm a pretty girl, please, I got good grades, my friend is a cop, I can't go to jail, I can't do this, I got a 4.0. I mean, she goes on and on. Well, there is an update. They call her the very clean white girl now. Mm-hmm. Very clean white girl cops to DUI rap. Self-described thoroughbred tried to talk way out of bust. The intoxicated ex-cheerleader who tried to talk her way out of an arrest by assuming South Carolina cops, it should be assuring South Carolina cops that she was a very clean, thoroughbred white girl, has pleaded guilty to a drunk driving charge. guilty. Name's Lauren. She's 34. She recently copped to a misdemeanor DUI count in connection with her arrest last August. It's a town west of Hilton Head. She's a licensed real estate agent. I could tell from the picture. Doesn't she got a real estate agent look?
Oh, she's a real thoroughbred.
I'd buy a house from her. That is a
You ever
clean
watch real
thoroughbred.
estate porn?
The best horse in the stable, huh?
You ever watch real estate porn?
Oh, no, is that on HGTV or is that...
No, it's on Pornhub.
Real estate porn?
Yeah.
Oh, like they pretend like they're realtors? You know, a lot of my nylon stuff incorporates that. A lot, Lazlo. They're at the house, and the woman says, she's right now, she says...
It's a whole thing. You
would
just
it
look
take-
up real estate.
Okay, because I find it through searching for pantyhose and stuff. And the woman will say, well, what would it take for me to get you to sign this house? And it's a husband and wife every time. And the wife's like, I don't really like it. The house is too small. And she's like, I'm going to go look around. And while she's looking around, the real estate agent, she starts rubbing her nylons on the guy.
Yes.
And she's like, come on, sign this paper.
That's the whole thing.
And then
Just
he
call
signs
it
it.
real estate porn, man.
Okay. I find it through the pantyhose thing, but there's a lot of it.
Yes, and it's perfect. They all dress the way that you want. Yes.
There
It's
was,
real estate porn.
There was even a girl who went in with another real estate girl, and the real estate girl's like, what do you think of the house? And the girl says, I'm not here for the house. I really just want to worship your pantyhose. And I was like, oh my God, this is a great thing. Do you realize 10, 15 years ago, that stuff was only coming out of Germany and incorporated a bunch of gross stuff that you didn't want to see? You remember those days?
Sure.
The early days of like pantyhose porn? You were in on it.
Sure.
It was kind of a tough time. We're living in the golden age
I do like
now.
real estate porn.
I'm going to look into that. I will definitely look into that.
Yeah, just it's there. And then that will lead you to landlord porn.
Landlord porn? Oh, of course. They do that in pantyhose porn too.
Yes.
Hey, you haven't paid your rent.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, hey,
look, you
please,
got to
I'm
get
a
out of
single
here.
mom. I just watched one. She said, I'm a single mom, please. And
Look, you got to get out of here. You're 3 months behind.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do to make it up? Nothing. You got to go. Look, I'm a landlord. And then they're like, well, how about if I did this? And he's like, well, yeah, all right. My favorite.
I just thought these pantyhose guys were trying to find ways to make these stories work, but I didn't realize it's already
I'm going to do
a
that
whole
to Snow
thing.
Cone. You're evicted. And you're going to be like, no, what could I do? And you rub your little legs together like that. And I'll be like, okay, you can stay. You want to do that? Play that game?
Yeah.
You want to play that game?
Oh, I was looking at some porn. What's the exact rules?
I say that I pretend like I'm the landlord, and then you pretend that you don't have the money for rent.
Right, I got that.
And then I collect.
So I have to get out of paying you by doing something for you, right?
Yeah.
So what is it that I have to do?
Well, that's what we both have to hint around at real quick.
But does it involve me dressing up?
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't know how your videos play out because you may be looking at slightly different things. You probably are. Most of mine don't even involve any sex of any type. Hell, a lot of them are just on YouTube.
Oh, no, these involve sex.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would go, if it's approved for YouTube, then I would say, yes, I would do it. But
I would say these are not approved for YouTube.
If YouTube would turn it down.
Yes, YouTube would turn it down.
Okay, then I don't think I should do it.
Well, then you'd have to move.
I could find someone that'll do it. My girlfriend will do it. She'll definitely do it.
And this is where it starts.
What?
I've seen a video that happened exactly like this.
He's like, I can't, but meet my girlfriend?
I'm going to take off.
I mean,
Talk to my girlfriend.
Share any of this stuff with us. Why don't we text each other at night, guys? We're all doing the same thing.
The Church of Lazlo. 96.5 The Buzz.
Yo!
What do you think of those guys?
Sublime?
Yeah.
I like them.
Me too.
Maybe want to smoke weed.
Yeah. And other stuff.
Just weed for me.
Okay. Well, he talks about a lot of stuff. Now when I see them, I think of Lana Del Rey's Sublime cover.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking about. And then I started thinking about that. Have you watched the video it's Lana Del Rey, Ariana Grande, and Miley Cyrus? Have you watched that?
No.
You should watch it.
What do they do?
You know, they like dance and sing and stuff, but
what are they?
It's weird because I watch Ariana and I'm like, you're the least exciting to me. Like, I just find like her voice and stuff kind of boring. It's fine if you love her. Please don't kill me. I think she's cool. You know, I'm fine with her.
But you don't like her.
I just like in the song. I'm like, oh, I think Miley and Lana came off as kind of cooler.
What's the song called?
What is that song called, Snow Cone? Do you know?
It's for the Charlie's Angels soundtrack.
Oh, that's
I
what
think
it
it's called
was.
Don't Call Me Angel.
Don't call me angel in the morning, angel.
Man, you sound just like that woman in Righteous Gemstones.
Which
the
one?
wife.
The one who sings?
Yeah, the wife.
Well, what's the song they sing? Well, I'm a honky-tonk boy, and I'm out and I'm in the wild. What was that song that they sang?
They did misbehaving or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I'm a misbehaving kid, and I'm out in the wild, kicking up dirt. Well, I sound like a guy. I don't sound like her.
You sounded just like her. That's what she sounded
When I
like.
sang-
At least when you sang that, it reminded... First thing that popped into my mind
Don't call me
Yes.
Angel in the morning.
Sounded like, she would sing that.
I guess I could. I could probably do
Be
that.
one of those old revivalist, I don't know, broads.
So I was, there's like this website that I go to. It's pretty dorky. I think I've admitted this before. It's dorky. It's
Trans pantyhose?
No, it's not porno. It's a website where people who are in radio talk. I never say anything, but I read what they say sometimes.
Okay.
And they're from like New York City, LA to the smallest cities you've ever seen. And they just, you just chat. And people say, what's going on in radio? It's just gossip site for people in the business. And they also talk about stuff that's going on in the news. And it's weird because some of these people I've never met. Some of them I have, but most of them I've never met. And I see stuff that they're talking about, and I do sometimes, engage and respond. And I feel like I know these people.
You did it?
Well, I've talked to some of them, but I saw one of the guys that I think he brings up a lot of interesting topics and stuff on the forum. He was talking about that guy getting fired from SNL. And he was saying, how did you lose your dream job? Did that happen to you? Did you screw up and lose your dream job? And I was thinking about that, and I thought the closest, but I have my dream job, right? Mm-hmm. I really think I do.
Right, me too.
I really can't imagine anything better than this. I mean, if they decided we pay radio people millions of dollars, that would be better.
Right.
But otherwise, I can't. But I did apply to work for the Muppets to be an intern at Jim Henson Studios.
Right.
And I got an email response from them a couple weeks later. And it said, you've been accepted. It had a big green thing. And it had Kermit. But it said, this is the date that you moved to L.A. I was living in St. Joseph, Missouri.
Why didn't you move?
I was too scared.
What?
I was too scared to do it. I didn't have the money to move to L.A. I was donating
You didn't
plasma.
have the money.
I was donating plasma to buy cigarettes at the time.
Drive gas. Go.
I mean, I was
figure it out. Why didn't you go?
Broke. I was dead ass broke.
My God, you suck.
I know.
Man.
I'm not that
Don't ever
person.
look back.
Hey,
And
I'm inspired by the people that do.
Kids, go. If you get a letter that says move to work on the Muppets, move.
Yeah, but I ended up.
Don't be scared.
I ended up here. I think I like it here better than I would.
You don't know that.
It would
You'd
be
in
fun to
L.A.
be
working on the Muppets, and I'd have my own characters. You'd have like 20 some odd or close to 20 years of being in L.A.
Yeah.
Working with people in that industry.
Yeah. And I've got 5, maybe 6 solid characters ready to go.
Here you got me and Snowcone.
What characters do you have ready to go?
No.
I'm
Come
on, we have to know. Give us one.
No.
Give us your
Some
favorite.
of them have already been stolen.
Give us your favorite.
Give us one.
Maybe later.
No,
now.
No. You can't say that and just move past.
Yeah. What character would you have created for Jim Henson? Hanson? Chris?
Henson.
Jim Henson and Brian's the son. It's owned by Disney now, but it's the Jim Henson Studio still exists. If you haven't seen the Dark Crystal thing on Netflix, it's good. So you'd like it. It's Game of Thrones with puppets.
Stop.
Yeah.
Which one? So you got there. Which type of character would you have introduced to Jim Henson?
So when I was a kid, I don't
like the Muppets.
I had a lot of puppets. A lot of puppets. Like my mom had to get a big box to keep all the puppets in.
Mm-hmm.
One of them that I used a lot was Lamb Chop.
I remember that.
And I couldn't do the Lamb Chop voice.
Try it now.
So I created a different voice. Can't do it.
Okay.
So I created a different voice, and I created this character that is a little baby lamb. Doesn't really look like Lamb Chop. What?
I can't wait.
This is why I didn't want to tell you. Just forget about it.
Come on, man.
No,
So it's a baby lamb.
I'm sorry.
It's a lamb.
Isn't Lamb Chop a baby lamb?
Well, I don't know if Lamb Chop is a baby lamb, but Lamb Chop doesn't talk like a baby, right?
Okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I thought it did. I don't know.
I can't do the voice. I can't do the voice. So I was going to be a little tiny sheep and a boy, and
boy sheep named what?
Charlie.
Charlie the sheep.
Mm-hmm. And he's really, really, really shy and really introverted.
Okay, do you have
but he's
the
kind
voice
of
down?
he can be kind of funny.
Let's hear Charlie the sheep.
Hello, I'm Charlie.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I spent the first 6 months of my life caged up. I thought they were going to turn me into lamb chops. But I'm so happy to be here with you guys now. If you need help, I got your back.
Why are you looking at me like that? What's that look? Look, man, if someone presents you with some art and you don't like it, at least pretend it's like getting a gift on your birthday that you already have. Don't tell the person you already have it and throw it back. Just pretend like you're excited. Or at least don't look at me like that.
That may have been the creepiest thing I've ever been around.
He's supposed to be
life.
a little creepy. That's part of his thing. He's creepy.
Well, it comes natural to Charlie.
He's creepy. Yes, he's creepy. He's definitely creepy.
A little puppet on your hand talking like that?
I had puppets on both hands a lot of times. A wolf on one, a lamb on the other. Sheep. I love puppets. When we had to do book reports and stuff in school, I did puppet shows.
Somebody just said you're confusing Jim Jensen's Muppets and Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator.
But the Muppets, once Pepe the Prawn came around, they went like full... Because when he got there, when Bill came over and he started Pepe, they made Pepe like a main character, you know? Smoking is very, very bad for you, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? That character's so funny, and it's a new character, and he's like, he's adult humor. He's edgy. And so I was like, man, this is good. They need more of this. And that was the only time when I thought, man, I wish... As I saw that they were making him a main character and that Bill had gone in there and basically taken over... As
I
kind of a new
sit
guy.
through another second of this conversation.
I was like, I could have been there with them. Maybe. You don't have any of those? You don't have any, like, if I'd taken this path or not done this, I could have ended up here. You don't have any of those?
I mean, all of them. I would have given anything to not have ended up here right now.
Talking to me, I know, about my dreams,
lamb
my
chops,
hopes, my dreams. Sorry that I...
Charlie the Lamb.
Enjoyed Fraggle Rock. Look, I liked the stuff, and I wanted to...
I'm just saying, any of the other options I could have taken would have been better than this right now.
You had to have liked something as a kid a lot.
Sports.
Jesus, so macho all the time.
I like sports.
Well, was there no kids thing that you liked that you really got into? That you really loved? You didn't get excited about certain movies or shows, cartoons? I mean, for my generation, we watched Ghostbusters on Saturday morning or Garfield. But for me, it was Muppets. I liked puppets. You didn't have anything like that?
I think no.
Just sports.
I like sports.
Okay, well, then how about that? How about, do you ever sit and think, maybe if I had continued to play...
Of course.
Because you were a running back, right?
Right.
Maybe if I had continued to play, maybe I could have played in college.
Of course.
And maybe I could have... who knows what could have happened?
Yes,
it could have been totally different. Even if I was just a great college player and never make the NFL, that's still a huge achievement in and of itself. So do you think about that?
Yes.
Okay, so yours is sports. Snow Cone, what's yours? What's your missed opportunity, job, dream, whatever?
I always wanted to like be in a band, be a rock star.
Oh, I knew that. He wanted to be a rock star. He's talented. You're a talented guitar player and musician.
You could still do that.
Yeah.
He's too old, though.
He's not.
All these record labels, they sign like 21-year-olds.
You're a guitar player. You're not trying to sing, right?
No, yeah.
She'd be all right.
But I also see some bands like that we play, and I find out like how old they are, and I'm like, damn, they're that old.
Yeah, but if you were really good in guitar, they may stick you in a band with like a young person. Just be like, all right, let this guy play guitar. He's really good at it.
Sure.
Yeah, and
you're not that old.
No,
you can still pull it off.
You could be the guy who tunes the guitars for the bands on stage. Would you like that?
Guitar tech?
A guitar tech. Would that be a fun job?
No.
No, he wants to be a rock star.
No,
I get
you could be in the band. I'm
it.
telling you, you're not.
I don't think I am either. I don't think it's like I think there's still a possibility.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not working towards it, but it's still available.
When I started working here and started meeting all the roadies at the shows, that put all of our shows together.
So I said it all comes back to scarlet fever socks on your hands.
Yeah, maybe.
You had nothing else to do except for talk to your hand. Hello, this is scarlet fever.
I already was into puppets before that. I was already into puppets.
Oh, man. If you'd have told me that chicken's name or whatever it was that you were putting on your hand's name was Scarlet, oh, man. Man, this conversation would have been so much better. Hi, I'm Scarlet the chicken.
I did a puppet show in third grade about Pete the Bagel Man, and I got the best grade of anyone in the class. Got 100%. The teacher took me into the hallway. We didn't really get along. I think she was into me or something. But she said, Rita, I just want you to know, that was amazing. She gave me like that pep talk that teachers are supposed to do. It was the only time she ever did it. I knew right then and there my destiny was to go entertain children with puppets on my hands. And then when I got the invitation or got the acceptance letter and it said, you got to move to L.A., 19, no money, donating plasma for cigarettes, I couldn't do it. I thought I would join the reserves and maybe that would pay for it. But then they said, we're going to war. And it's going to be a long one. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. So How do you go to L.A. with no money? People do it. My ex-wife did it.
Just go.
But when you get there, you're just a bum? What do? You're just begging for money?
Start figuring it out.
But you can't
Look
figure
for a
anything out without
roommate.
money.
Yes, you can. Spend a couple nights in your car. See how much Jim or
so
Chris
that's
Hansen's
true.
going
You
to pay
sleep in
you.
the car. That's true.
See how much they're going to pay you. Scrap together a couple bucks and you get a hotel room. Just
So
start
you
building.
Start off holding the signs outside for tax refund
You're
places.
going to get a job, right?
Right, but it doesn't pay. It's an internship. It's an unpaid internship.
Got to go get a job. Then.
Right, that's scary.
You don't have to hold signs. Just go get a job.
Right, well, that is a
go to
job.
the
That's what
B.
I'm saying. Yeah, I could be a server.
Just go to a B. Start working. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I was actually working at the B when I got the
You
acceptance
could have
thing.
told them, hey, can you call out there and get me a job? And they'd say yes.
Could have. My manager really liked me.
And he'd be like, yeah, let me
God.
call. All right, well, there's not one in L.A., but there's one in Culver City, so that's where you're going to live.
But it's good that I didn't do it.
Why?
Because it's puppets. Ugh, dude. Ugh. Lazlo made me hate him. It took years. I still enjoy watching the movies and the shows, but he made me very suspicious of all of them. So, do you do that? Do you say stuff just to see if I'll push the button and get rid of it? Yeah. Did you think I would get rid of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think I should have got rid of that?
Nah.
Yeah, I think I should have.
The Church of Lazlo on 96.5 The